All right. Hello, everybody. My name is Rick Walston. I am been in this biomed business for about 30 years. I was a tech, a field service rep, manager, director, and now I'm a product specialist for Pronk. Today, we're going to be talking about using technology to get your PMs done quicker and more accurately. So, we're going to start by talking about some of the challenges and whether to collect test results or not. And we're going to talk about your options, and we're going to talk about your CMMS systems. Okay, this is not going to be news to any of you, but there are challenges in completing PMs. You got thousands of devices. You got to know how to maintain and repair each one of them. You're given no training. You're just thrown to the wolves. Add that to a shortage of us. I mean, there's just not as many people for the open jobs we have out there. So what are the best practices to use to perform service, and how do I document that? Because we all know if it's not documented, it's not done. And of course, you want to ensure you're compliant with your standards and the regulatory standards. So we looked at this. We say there's different ways to bridge the gaps. And the first one is us old crusty biomeds need to train the young, full of life people that are just coming into this field. And if you're one of those young, full of life people, grab a hold of one of these crusty old guys and drain every bit of knowledge they have, because we've done it all, we've seen it all. But it is important in your organization to establish and maintain standardized procedures. Everybody's doing everything the same way. There's no question on whether or not it's getting done correctly. And I pushed the wrong button. So we say you need to look to advanced test equipment and CMMS features that will help you in this journey. So test equipment, tools, CMMS systems, they all have to work in harmony. So you ask the question, is it even beneficial to collect test data? Well, that will establish a consistent test process. Like I said, again, everybody's doing the same thing the same way, documenting it the same way. There's no questions when it comes to your inspection on how it was done, how it's documented. This will allow the HCM professional to spend the time doing what they're getting paid to do, which is to maintain and repair the equipment rather than searching for manuals or looking stuff up online or all the other things too. Detailed records, they provide greater confidence. So this, to me, kind of understates it. I believe in a very robust service report with all the data you can, because when that Joint Commission or whoever you're using, inspector comes in and you hand them a work order and it's full of words and data, well, they don't know what they're looking at because they're not a biomed, but they figure it's got to be complete because look at all the data you showed them. So it goes along with those. If you can't dazzle them with brilliance, baffle them with bullshit. But no, you want detailed service records. For improved accreditation compliance, more complete and efficient, and patient incident investigations. If you've ever had the misfortune of having to deal with a patient incident investigation, they will call through your paperwork with a fine-tooth comb and make sure every I is dotted, every T is crossed. So the more complete your service records are, the easier these things become. Hello? Okay. So we think you should invest in the tools that allow you to do this. Okay. Tools should connect all your critical devices together so you're doing one procedure, and minimize the need for separate pieces that will impact your ability to perform the job. So this is what we view that it looks like when you're servicing a medical device. You have a work order, and that work order should have a procedure on it, what you're doing. We're talking a PM work order, of course. And then you need test equipment to perform that procedure. And then you need to create a service report when you're done. And then you need to get that service report into your CMMS system. So now we've gone full circle. We have a PM pass device because we have completed all these sections. So what we're going to talk about is how to make all this one process and not several different fractured processes. So your CMMS system. You can utilize advanced solutions to improve the ability to manage and execute all service-related activity. Some CMMS systems have come light years ahead in assisting in this with integration possibilities and so. And we think you should have the ability to create your own electronic test procedures in your CMMS. So you take the manual, you make it into a PM, and you execute it on your system. Key here, though, is to include integration of test equipment as a standard feature. So when you're talking to, if you're looking for a new CMMS company, ask them, do you integrate with test equipment? Is that included, or do we have to pay extra for that? Some of the big ones out there will charge you a lot of money to make that integration happen. It's worth it, but if you don't have to spend it, you shouldn't. Test equipment. Now, we buy test equipment with the ability to customize test protocols and including pass-fail limits with data collection. And that data collection is important. Electronic connectivity to transfer your test results. You're not writing down on a paper and transferring, putting it in your computer yourself. So again, working together. Oh, and these days, wireless communication is key. You don't want to have to dig out a serial cable, hook to this, and find a computer that still has a serial port and hook it, or wonder if your USB is going to work, whatever. Wireless just is seamless. Test equipment should be able to be used, though, without a CMMS system. So you're out in a clinic with no network access, you still need to be able to do your job. New features, expanded, not a locked set of functions. So if you buy a piece of test equipment and us test equipment manufacturers come out with a new feature, you should be able to upgrade rather than have to replace it. Programmable features, again, allowing you to create your own test protocols. So we're really wanting that done. Flexibility to collect electronics and a mean to store that information. That's also key. Collecting it doesn't do any good if you can't store it or transfer it somewhere to be stored. Integration to CMMS, various parts of data transfer. So again, don't be locked down to just Bluetooth or just Wi-Fi or just wired. They should be able to do multiple. And does it have alternate methods when you don't have a CMMS system? So many companies are developing tools to help you with this. Test equipment companies, we've all come a long way with integrations and that sort of thing. CMMS companies, like I said, they're coming a long way. They're working with this test equipment manufacturers and integrating our test equipment to their systems to make life easier on you guys. And they are, a lot of them are creating new ways to create your procedures and store them. Wireless communication compatibility, again, is key. Now, I'm going to tell you how Pronk handles this. So we have a system called Mobilize, where you scan a barcode, or you can enter it in manually if you don't have barcoded numbers. You run the test on this is on a phone or iPad, something like that. And then you get a report at the end. It's simple, it's easy. I'll go into it a little bit more. So most of our equipment, all except one device, has Bluetooth available. It has to be designated at the time of purchase that you want that option. It will then control the test equipment from the device. The results of your testing is then captured back to that device. So if you're doing an electrical safety test, those safety readings go back via Bluetooth. So we have several devices that all have Bluetooth. Now, in the Pronk world, if you see the word Mobilize, that means it's Bluetooth capable. We use the word Mobilize. Mobilize is also the name of our app, so it's one and the same. So we also have an open platform for integration. So we can integrate with other brands of test equipment, and we are looking to expand that as well. Currently, Daytrend system, their defib analyzer works with it great, and TSI's vent testers also work with it great. When purchasing those devices, you can purchase them through your Pronk rep or through those companies direct. But if you're ordering from them direct, just specify that you need the Bluetooth capability if you want to use it with our products. So there's more in development. We are trying to work with a lot of the companies, but not to disappoint you, we don't work with those yellow boxes. I should say that a different way. They don't work with us. So we have the ability to create your own test protocols on the app. You can set them, create them, and store them there. We can checklists from your CMMS system and run them on our app and then send the data back. Or we can directly control it from your CMMS system. And I'm going to go through that in a minute. That is the gold standard to me. Live control and data transfer. So how does it work? Well, again, we have our electronic test equipment. You execute the test, and electrical safety simulation, infusion testing, defibrillation, ventilator testing, all that stuff. And the test results go to your device, and they're stored there. So PM checklists from CMMS are viewed on our app. So you create them in your CMMS, and this is depending on your CMMS. One way to do it, create them in your CMMS, you send them to our app, you complete them on the app, and then the data goes back. So step-by-step instructions, pass, fail, and wirelessly communicates to all these. Execute tests and capture results. At the end of that test, we're going to get a report. And this report will have header information that you would put in before. So the hospital name, your name, whatever you want to title the report, you can call it that. Then via Bluetooth, it will pull the test equipment serial numbers and last calibration data, and it'll put those on the report. So whether it's our device or one of our partner devices, it will bring that serial number and calibration data to the report. Some accreditation agencies require that. We've just tried to make that easier. After that, you will get the results of your test. So here's your electrical safety test, and then you have your checklist down there. And it's a complete report, all test parameters. You can add notes, you can add images. There's a button, you can take a picture, that picture becomes part of the record. So if you're working on a patient monitor and there's a cracked case and you want to document that, there's other kinds, something else you want, you just take a picture of it, it will become part of the permanent record. With this report, if you're not using it with the CMMS, you can create a PDF and export it, email to a cloud drive, anything you can do with a document on that Apple device. I say Apple device, it's what we use most. It is available for Android and soon will be available for Windows. So you can, anything you can do with a document, you can do with this document. Again, there's all the parts of the report that I went through. And your device will hold up to 1,000 test records. They can be deleted at any time, and when you reach 1,000, it's first in, first out. It just keeps rolling. Doesn't stop you, but if you don't want to lose them, you can export them out of there. Now, CMMS systems. I don't sell CMMS. I don't get a cut if you buy it, but I'm going to highlight a couple that work well in this. First one is TrueAsset. TrueAsset is not the biggest name in CMMS, but they're a really good one and they work really well. They were the first to really integrate with us on a level. So you have live access from their CMMS to connect to our test equipment, and it auto-populates the work order with the test results. So the way this works is you open a work order in their system, and there'll come time that says perform safety test. There's a button. You hit that button, and our safety test starts. So it does the test. It brings the data back at the end of the test. Then you go down and you do simulations, and it will take control and set our simulators to the right parameters. And then again, you tell it, it's simulating 60 heart rate. I see 60 heart rate, put it in there, and it goes right in the work order. When you're done with that test, you click done, and it is done. The work order's closed. All your data is in there. It is so slick. And it is a standard option with this company. They don't charge extra for integration. New one on the block is called Cinch. Some of our ISOs, smaller ISOs, regional ISOs are using Cinch and they love it. Cinch has come to the table now and they do a similar integration that TrueAsset does. Again, live access, connectivity, auto-populates the work order, and it's done. So Cinch is another one to look at. They're pretty good and they're up and coming. We have an option to connect to a Bluetooth printer. We don't sell the printer. The printer you can buy from Amazon, Office Depot, whoever you buy stuff from. And those are Brother Cube printers. They are wireless, Bluetooth, rechargeable printers. There's two different versions. You have a screen immobilized where you set it up, tell it what you want on the PM. At the end of your PM, you hit a button, it prints that sticker for you. You're limited to the colors that they offer, but it's like 9 colors or something. And they're self-laminating, so it's a pretty good system. I realize that most hospitals have this, they buy the rolls of stickers and they're customized for them or whatever, but this is another way to do it. And I gotta learn. Another thing we just came out with is called Pronk Checkmate. And this is just in our Mobilize program, there's a section for checklists. And not everybody has checklists built or the ability to build checklists, so we have built them. We take manufacturers' recommended PMs from the manual and we put them into our format for electronics. So you get a complete PM, you have options. So for instance, I'm doing a Zolar, but my particular Zolar doesn't have SPO2. Well, you can turn that off so it won't ask you for that test. You don't have to hit NA. And when you print the report, it doesn't look like something's missing. It's just, it didn't come up with the SPO. So it saves you time. This is the part of Mobilize that costs money. The rest of it is free. You can download the Mobilize app off the Apple Store right now. It won't do you any good unless you have at least one Mobilize Bluetooth capable piece of test equipment. But Pronk Checkmate is a subscription service that we will sell you that gives you up-to-date PM procedures that we keep updating and keep adding to the list. And if you are interested in this and we don't have a PC device you need, let us know. We can build that. If you go to our website, there's a free 30-day trial of that. And that, okay. So Mobilize has their standard methods of data transfer. So again, I spoke about the CMMS integration options. That to me is the best way, not always available. So we can do API links, app linking, PDF, text file transfer. Your CMMS system doesn't hook with us, let us talk to them. We'll figure out a way to make it work. We've done it different ways for different CMMS companies all over, and it works. Utilizes the latest share functions on Apple, including syncing, data, cloud network drive, custom CMMS. Now, Pronk as a company, one of the things we really stand on is we partner with the community. When we have a new piece of equipment, before it comes on the market, we put it in the hands of biomeds. We're actually working in hospitals so they can break it. They can tell us what's wrong with it. We can fix it before we put it on the market. So in that thing is we have this app, and because it's an app and it can be updated via the same way all your other apps are updated, we can add more features, tweak features, make it better. There's no monthly fee, no annual fee. You download it, it's free. You can use it. You can download it on as many devices as you want. Again, other than the checklist part, it's completely free. We are still looking to expand test partners. Windows and Android version coming soon. Android is out. It is not on the Google Store. You have to email us and we can email you a link to do it. It's still technically in beta test, but it's out all over the country and people are using it successfully. Yeah, so again, it's a grassroots community. And I've seen this in action before I became a Pronk rep. I was biomed. They brought products to me and said, what do you think? I hate it. Change it. And they changed it. We've have other partners, biomeds out in the field that say, hey, if you added this, a beep or a light or something, and we've done it. And it's been really successful. So we'd like to hear from you guys. What should we do next? What should we work on next? What should we tweak? What should we make better? Yes?
When you said that a Windows version is like in beta, is that for like a Windows computer or is that for like Windows cell phones?
No, it's for like a laptop or the big request we're getting for it is people that are using the Surface tablets. So it's a Windows-based tablet. But yeah, we're debugging it right now. It's developed. It's just not ready for release. I've seen it. It works. Yes? You said you mentioned about everything was loaded to the cloud. Yeah, it can be. You can send it from the device. So equipment speaks to the tablet direct, so there's no security risk there. We're not on the hospital network. We don't have patient data. But if you want to send it to a cloud drive, then you have to get internet access somehow and send it to that cloud drive. We're happy to talk to your IT department. We are in hospitals all over this country, and there's no real cybersecurity risk because, again, we can operate without the hospital network. We can go straight to the tablet, from the device to the tablet, and you're testing medical equipment, but you're not on their network either. So it's pretty safe. And it's, you know, it's that's one of the reasons why we did Apple first, is because IT departments and hospitals all over the country said we don't allow Androids on our network because of security risks. So we went with Apple, and now we are doing Android for those who request it, but yeah. Any other questions? Yes.
So I got a comment, and then I've got a couple questions as well. My comment is that when you're negotiating or you're going through a CMMS RFP, or if you're buying test equipment, I would say don't let it be an option. Make it be mandatory that there's connectivity there, because they can all do it.
Yes.
But they're gonna want to charge you for what they can. But I know a lot of things are free, but I would make it mandatory that connection is there and occurs between the CMMS and the test equipment, and at no cost, because they can all do it. My question is that a couple questions I have is when you're doing a PM and say the equipment, you got a failure.
Yes.
So you check it as a failure. Can you close that work order out as a PM failure generated to a corrective maintenance work order? And whenever you're doing the testing of equipment, can you distinguish between, because hey, if you're doing a repair, you've got to test that equipment before it goes back out to the floor.
Right.
So can you differentiate between this was a PM and this was a CM?
Yeah, so some of that depends on the CMMS system. If you're just using our system, when you're doing the testing, the simulations, or the safety test will come up, pass or fail, just on its own. And if it says fail, the whole thing is failed. And you can close it at that point. You can repair it and retest it in the same work order. Most people like to document that it failed and then open a new work order that it passed. So in Mobilize, when you're doing simulations, however, and it says, I simulated 60 heart rate, I saw 65, then there's a pass fail, and it relies on you, the biomed, to hit fail if that's a failing reading. Now, through the CMMS integration, some of them will say there's a range of 10% or whatever the tolerance is, and it will auto fail it. But in Mobilize itself, you have to say it failed.
So if I close that PM out to open a corrective maintenance work order, repair that, then when I've done repair and I run it through the test on the corrective, do those two work orders tie together?
That depends on the CMMS system. In our system, they're just two separate work orders with the same control number. And they're saved in our system as control number, date, and time. So you'd have this date at 10 a.m., this date at 11 a.m. So again, depending on the CMMS system. Now, the largest third-party service companies out there, GE and TriMedics, are both using our products and integrating with their own. GE uses Nuvolo, TriMedics has their own RSQ, and both of them have live capture in their work orders from our systems. So that question would be more for the CMMS company than us. I don't know exactly how that's handled. Yes.
My question.
Okay.
Does Pronk offer people using of the test equipment
No.
From your past life, you had appreciated when you have the flexibility, but then the calibration is managed by Pronk. That way you can on demand ask like, okay, room, I want this for 5 days or 10 days or a month. Just give it back and let them maintain and give it back to you.
Yes, so we will calibrate all of our devices. However, if you want to use an on-site calibration company, we allow them. We work with all of them. We give them our specs. Most of our devices, if they fail, they have to come back to us for repair. But you have the flexibility to use whoever you want to calibrate. A lot of people want to use the manufacturer because we're the manufacturer. And when you send it to us, you know, if there's a cracked case or something, we'll probably replace that and refurbish it for you. Whereas your guy that comes on site, he's going to get it done in one day. You're not without your equipment for more than a day. So people choose to do that. They do it both ways, honestly. Any other questions? Now, I didn't take up this whole time. I talked too fast, apparently. So, is there anything else I could? Yes.
So you're saying you're taking the data for use and display. Do you do any data analytics or analyzing it, or any report generation after what you have, like histories of data for specific equipment?
No, that would have to be done in your CMMS system. So basically what we have is a depository of what tests you've done. It's 1,000 long and they're just listed out. And those can be, again, exported as PDF text files. I even have a customer that built this advanced spreadsheet for some reason, and he takes our reports in text and imports them into the spreadsheet. And then at the end of the month, he has a spreadsheet with all the PMs and all the readings that we're taken. And it's impressive, but I don't know what he does with it or why he has it, because I asked him, is this what you give the inspector when they come? No, they don't want to see that. They want individual reports. Why do you do it? Because I can? I don't know. People like to play with data. I get it. We're all a little bit nerdy because we're biomeds, but yeah, it's all those features are a CMMS function, not ours. We're not a CMMS and don't plan to be, or don't pretend to be. We just do test equipment and the reports from that. I would say though, one of the best uses of Mobilize to me is working with the day trend defib analyzer and doing defibs, because it is so clean. For one, you start up, it's in remote mode. You're controlling it via Mobilize. So when it's time to do your discharge testing, it sets the machine to the right settings for that, low and high and all that. And you just discharge the defibrillator, the data comes up and it populates right into work order, and you hit next and you do it. So again, you're not writing down, you're not doing anything. It's just, and then when you're done, you have a service report that matches the service manual checklist, but it's in our format.
Does it do AEDs?
I don't know if we have a connection to do AEDs, but it could theoretically. I don't think we have a checklist for it because so many people don't test AEDs. That's been an ongoing discussion forever. I've seen where, we have our own set of batteries. We go use our batteries when we test it. Well, you're not doing a real life test then. And other people just use the batteries in it. Well, now you're degrading the opportunity for it to be used on patients. So it's one of those slippery slopes. But yeah, the day trend defib analyzer is defib and pacer testing, and it has all of them. And our checklist, if you're using that, will tell you plug cable into the red port or whatever, and move it from this port to the pacer and this and that. So it instructs you along the way. Another thing we do in our service reports to try to make it easy, I don't know if you guys are familiar with the ZOLR. I always use the ZOLR as my example because in their checklist, physical inspection is 14 steps. And on their checklist, you 14 check marks. Well, we try to make it easier on you. We have one line that says physical inspection pass fail, and then you can hit an info button and it lists those 14 steps. So I like that because the first time you're doing it this year, you haven't done it in a while, whatever, or you've never done one, you have all the steps, you know what you need to do. But if you've been doing ZOLRs all month, you know what the steps so you can just hit pass. You can print those steps on the work order so it shows what you actually tested, but in documentation, it's one click and keep moving. So we try to save you time. There's been studies done by third-party service organizations that say we save them 15 minutes on a PM, sometimes more, sometimes less, depending on the PM. But you know, when you're doing 100 PMs in a month, 15 minutes per is a lot of time for you to go get coffee or, I mean, do other work. Yes. So all of our devices are covered under a 4-year warranty, but we've been in business for 22 years, and the third piece of equipment we've ever sold came back for calibration the other day. It's still in the field, still using it. So the cost of ownership, depending on what you buy, if you buy everything we sell, it's about $14,000. Of course, you can buy individually, you can buy kits, smaller kits, bigger kits, whatever, depending on your needs. You come by the booth, we can show you all of our products and we can go over some basic costs with you on that. Annual calibration, yes. It's difficult. Each piece has its own calibration cost. I don't know what that number is, but probably.
I can get it for you. I don't.
Yeah. Well, it's about 800 per device. So if you have 5 devices, you know, it depends. And again, if you're using an on-site person, they may be cheaper, they may be more expensive, they're more convenient, because one of the only downfall of sending us for calibration is the downtime of shipping it to us servicing it and then shipping it back. So you're looking at a week or 2 without your equipment, best case. Yeah. Any other questions? Do I have any Providence people in here? All right. Trimedics, yes. I'm going to still call you product. You guys are going to get to learn firsthand about all of this because your connection with RSQ is top notch. And if the Trimedics training isn't enough, get a hold of us. We'll train you a little bit better. I've already started it in the Portland area. Gary covers this area, but we're a team. If he needs help, I can help him. But yeah, it's pretty exciting. Yes. Yeah, he can find out for you. So a Providence account there. So Trimedics ordered a bunch of equipment. First of all, getting all you guys up to speed. Well, we're building it out and shipping it. It started shipping already. I don't know which facilities got theirs first or last. I don't know how that worked, but it's starting to ship now, so you should see it soon.
Can you, so the connectivity to the CMMS.
Yes.
When it downloads work orders, I mean, facilities that I was in and PM work orders were assigned to technicians.
Right.
So when you're in that system and you're completing that checklist, can you change that if it's not that technician that's assigned to that work order that's doing the work?
Yeah, again,
Does
that's
that
the,
have to be done?
that's the CMMS.
Okay.
So we just take that and put it in our format, display it for you so you can fill it out and then send it back. Unless it's a live control, and then it's, you know, right there in the work order. But some of the systems out there, some of the older systems, they send us a blank form and we send a filled out form back. So there's no, in our system, there's no assigning a text or whatever.
The Trimedics, do you know where the name RSQ came from for the software? In Indianapolis, their original office in Indianapolis, they had a break room, and all the tile on the floor was the same color except for one. They had a red square tile. That's where the name RSQ came from, red square.
That's a great piece of trivia. I'm going to use that. See, what did I tell you about us old crusty biomeds? We're full of knowledge.
I worked for Trimedics at one time.
Not to say you're old, Mike, but. All right, any other questions? I encourage all of you to stop by our booth. We can give you a demonstration of how our equipment works, how the Mobilize program works, and all that. It's a great system. We've got some cool little gadgets to go with it. We can show you.
Why does it have such a funny name? Pronk.
Okay. Do you know?
There's an answer to that.
Do you know what a pronk is? What that word means? Okay, most people do not. I didn't until I started working here and I looked it up. An antelope or a deer or an animal like that does that four-legged like jump, that's a pronk. Our owner and lead engineer built a robot that would do that. Okay, he had a patient monitoring company. He dabbled in robotics in between before he started a test equipment company, and he built a robot that would do that. It never went anywhere, but the name stuck. So we are Pronk. Everybody thinks it's prank, punk, whatever. It's Pronk, but we're agile. We move like that.
I thought it was named after Paul Wessler. So.
Is that a fluke?
Now you're using bad words. Who said the F word? Yeah, so and Pronk, we are an American company. Our products are designed and built in the United States. Our engineering department is in Honolulu, poor people. Our factory and devices are built in Southern California. So.
Yeah, well, when I was in the Air Force, so everybody said they want to get stationed at Hickam. I said, why would you want to do that? Where would you go on vacation?
When I was getting out of the Army, they asked me, tried to get me to re-enlist. I told them, I'll re-enlist if you send me to Tripler, sorry.
I was at Tripler for 3 weeks.
And they laughed, signed my paper, and I walked out. So. Yeah. Those are the good days, the old military biomed days. Any other questions, comments, suggestions? All right. I will kindly give you the rest of your time back then. Thank you for attending.